You wake up every morning assuming you are the exact same person who went to sleep. You have a past that belongs to you and a future you're walking toward. But this sense of a continuous self is an illusion. Every memory that makes up who you are, your first kiss, your childhood home, the argument you had yesterday, doesn't exist as some ethereal spirit. Those experiences are trapped inside incredibly fragile, microscopic physical switches. When you look at a raw specimen of a human brain, you are looking at 3 pounds of wet tissue. It is an organ, and like your lungs or your liver, it is strictly mechanical and entirely vulnerable to physical damage. Deep within this tissue sit 2 tiny, pea-sized structures called the mammillary bodies. These nodes act as chemical gateways, actively wiring your daily experiences into long-term storage to construct the timeline of your life. If those nodes degrade, your history goes with them. Your personality is an ongoing chemical cascade. And like any physical mechanism, it can be permanently broken without a moment's notice. When a person consumes massive amounts of alcohol over long periods of time, the resulting vitamin deficiencies essentially starve the brain. The mammillary bodies begin to physically deteriorate, killing off the exact neurons required to process time. Under normal conditions, a human life plots out as a continuous line. But with Korsakov syndrome, the brain's recording apparatus stops functioning, leaving the present entirely blank. The degradation then actively works backward, deleting decades of past experiences and erasing the person's history. There is no cure for this. The destruction to the brain's network is organic and absolute. Once those physical pathways die, the data they held is gone forever. A simple biological glitch, brought on by a chemical imbalance, can reach back in time and delete 30 or 40 years of a human identity. In the 1970s, neurologist Oliver Sacks met a patient named Jimmy G. Jimmy had a rich, well-documented past, serving as a highly intelligent radio operator on American submarines during the Second World War. But Jimmy's internal clock was severely broken. Because of Korsakov syndrome, his memory timeline abruptly and permanently stopped in 1945. Inside his mind, the war had just ended. If you placed a watch in a pair of glasses on a table, covered them, and asked Jimmy what was underneath just 1 minute later, he would have no recollection of the objects. He wouldn't even remember that you would ask him a question. Yet Jimmy remained highly intelligent. He could solve puzzles and hold complex conversations. The horror of his condition was his complete lack of awareness. He had no idea he was missing 3 decades of his life. Jimmy G exists as terrifying medical proof. A human being can lose the vast majority of their lifetime, have their internal narrative wiped clean, and live out the rest of their days never realizing it happened. This level of severe brain damage forces us into an uncomfortable corner. When your memories and your history are physically destroyed, does anything else remain? Is there a core identity, a soul, that survives the destruction of the flesh? Oliver Sacks argued yes. Watching Jimmy interact with art and nature, Sacks believed that despite the total loss of memory, a deep moral and aesthetic identity remained fully intact within his patient. But modern neuroscientists like David Eagleman look at the exact same hardware and reach the opposite conclusion, arguing for strict biological materialism. Eagleman points out that altering the physical structure of the brain, whether through tiny genetic mutations, a tumor, or chemical imbalances, directly alters human personality. Change the chemistry, and a person's impulses, desires, and behaviors immediately follow suit. If our temperament and character can be adjusted by a pill or a degraded node, there is no ghost driving the machine. The human essence is nothing more than a vast physical system strictly obeying the local laws of chemistry. Which brings us back to you, the person sitting here watching this video, actively processing these words in this exact second. Every hope you hold for the future, every fear that keeps you awake, and every memory you cherish is actively being generated by a precarious, microscopic chemical trick firing inside your skull right now. If those physical elements shift even slightly, if a blood vessel bursts or a single protein misfolds, the specific person watching this video effectively dies. You would be instantly replaced by a stranger walking around inside your body. We have absolutely no conscious access to the vast, silent machinery running our minds, and zero control over the hardware that dictates who we are. Your identity is a hostage to your biology, and without the fragile physical illusion of memory continuously stitching your timeline together, you are absolutely nothing.